What it do, my people? What it do? All right, cool. We about to get into it today. I have something super excitement to show you guys. Just wanted to show something off real quick before we go in. If you haven't had a chance to yet, I just dropped a new video today, which was showing off this app that I've been checking out, and it's called Audio Pen. And I have to say, this app is freaking incredible. It's absolutely freaking incredible. So if you haven't, check out this voice to content video that I just dropped. It only dropped like an hour ago, so I seen like the first 19 people already seen it. But I'm telling you, after this, you're gonna want to watch it. Like, you might have to, you can speed it up, you can jump around, whatever. But it's incredible. Like, I am really sort of taken aback by how dope this app is. Anyway, it's just trying to help you guys find all the tools that you need to see in order to be the you that you want to be. Wait, that was almost like a rhyme. Anyway, today I wanted to drop something fresh on you folks. I mean, fresh to death. I got a package in the Male, and look, it is from OBSBOT. It's going to be really, yeah, Lewis is actually a cool cat. Yeah, this OBSBOT thing is funny. Like, most people say OBSBOT, like, OS, but it's actually OBSBOT. But we're gonna not hold their naming convention against them until I can convince them to change the name to ECAMBot. But this has been the OBSBOT. In this box, I'm going to open it and show you what's in here. My man Matthew says has been using the 4K Me camera, the third angle on the screen. Decided to see what's going on with this one. Hey, you know what, Matt? When we were walking around the NAB floor, and you guys were nerding out talking to Dave and the crew at Condor Blue, I turned right behind. Sorry. Right. So the booth was like that. The OBSBOT booth was right there at the corner of where the Condor booth was. And I flipped back in there and I started talking to the team at OBSBOT, and I got a little demo and recorded a quick little video about it while we were at NAB. So it's kind of funny. While you guys was taking all day over there talking story, I was talking to these guys, and that's where I shot this video right here, where I got a chance to see it there. But in talking with them, I was able to get my hands on this unit so that I could show it to my people, because it's going to be interesting. And after they peruse my channel and see how much I talk about the one that's up here, which is really kind of meta, because I want to be using this Insta360 link to open this bad boy. They were like, "Hey man, let me show you this and see what you think." So before we get to the point where someone guarantee is going to ask, right? Is it better than the Insta360 link? Yes. And someone's going to ask me later, is the Insta360 link better than the OBSBOT? And I'm going to go, yes. And the reason for it is you have to know what you want, right? If someone asked me, at the top of the food chain, if broccoli is better than carrots, I'll be like, hell no, because I like carrots and I hate broccoli, right? Sorry, Matt. I can't stand broccoli. It's just a thing. But you might ask somebody else, and they're going to be like, are you high? Like, Matt would tell you chopping broccoli is important, and carrots can go eat a carrot. So at some point, I know this is hard because we are here to give you advice and try to lead you down the right path, but some things are close enough that you got to put on your own draws. And you have to be willing to buy something that may or may not fit. Know that you have a couple of days to send it back. Know that you can change, or do what my other half does and buy both and return the one she don't like because she's weird like that. You also, it's not a wrong answer. Just try and see what you like. Anyway, on spec right now, before I open this box, if I flip over to this guy real quick, And then I look at some of the things that are built into the specs. The specs on this are definitely higher. There's just some things that they've done and they've added because, like, first of all, it's starting out with a 1/1.5 CMOS, right? And the Insta360 is 1/1.2, so it's a bigger CMOS, right? That's the sensor. This is a Sony sensor, so you know it's going to be dope. Like, this is a Sony sensor. It has, dope 4K video, boom, right? They both got that. But it has dual native ISO. I know for a fact that my Link only has a single native ISO. So that will be helpful in a situation where you're like me and you have a darker studio, right? Some people who don't want to use like special type of lights. It does have HDR video. They both have that. This does have all pixel autofocus. So, it should do a better job of focusing in theory. I'm never going to use beauty mode, but it has beauty mode. Like, beauty mode is not going to work for me. But this is a big one. It's actually USB 3 as opposed to USB 2. Which is a big deal when it comes to webcams. And that's one of the things that causes a lot of webcams to have problems. And so that's why I was interested in this guy and the Opal, because they're both on some of the newer stuff. But what's really cool about this camera is they've added a bunch of really cool AI features, like auto zoom and tracking. So it's not just tracking, but it's tracking and making zoom adjustments for you, similar to the ZVE1. I had to make sure I say that correct. And I love the voice control. This is what made me fall in love with it at NAB, is being able to just say things to it, which we'll get into in a second. And for those people who are concerned about security, I like the fact that you could tell it to go to sleep and the camera will point straight down into its own body, which won't really show anything. Both cameras have magical gestures, so that's the thing. It does take some remembering, but this was huge. This was another huge one. So when I was at NB and I was talking to them, this one did come with the remote. And so that's that. Now, it's not built. It's not part of the kit. You do have to order it separately, I believe. We'll find out once we crack this box open. And then you can have it automatically do some auto cutting for you depending on what you're doing, which might be helpful for people who are doing things around the kitchen, like my friend Dina, or places where you're moving around the garage or outside. Most of these desk modes don't work, so I'll be curious how good this one works. I don't really use desk mode because I have it directly overhead. Both cameras have whiteboard mode, and I'm never going to use the weird blurry background thing, so that doesn't affect me. But yeah, I like the fact that you can put it to sleep. That's kind of cool. Anyway, so let's get the bad boy open and see what's inside this here box. Boom, boom, boom. We get out the old Knife. Doc, learn to cut away from oneself. I always cut towards myself, which is completely against the rules. It is time, y'all, to sharpen the knife. Yeah, she's a little dull. She needs some sharpening. Product placement. Oh, man. Just because I was over here talking spicy, the Insta360 decided to go crooked. Now, what this requires me to do is open up an app, which I don't mind, no biggie, and then reset the position so that it's straight. But again, one thing that's cool about this guy is, in theory, you can just yell at it and say, hit the position. Boom. So there's a little box, well packaged. No, I don't. I know how to sharpen knives, Aubrey. I don't have to get a new one. I can just sharpen my knives. Us Japanophile people were good at that. I can sharpen knives really good, actually. Damn, this baby is dull. It don't even want to cut this. That means somebody been in here using my knife for something that's inappropriate. Let's see if I can push this keyboard back just a smidgen. All right. So again, nice packaging, little hang thing. There is a little dot here on the bottom to make sure that someone doesn't stoler it. Look, Obs, cutting away from myself. Yeah, sometimes it's easier, Obs, to just buy a new one and not waste your time. Okay, so there is some app situation thing that you download here. Let's just make sure we're following all of the rule lists. So I'll hit this and open that and let my phone say what's up. Download the latest software and firmware. Boom. Tiny 2. All right, so I'm going to send this to my computer like such so that it opens on my computer. Gangster. Tom Buck is sending me alerts because that's what Tom does. I'm going to drop this over here just so we have it. And then I'm going to scan the other one just in case. I think the other one is literally just taking me to a page with more info, but let's just double check. Let's go here. Yes. All right. This is cool. The other QR code is taking me to this page here, where it just goes in and it gives you some information on like how to use it. What are some of the you're basically learning the individual features. And check it out. Look, they featured your man's video on their page. That also gives you a good information. Anyway, I was proud about that. Super proud about that. Yes. Why, thank you. All right. So, boom. Go back to here. Currently, my Stream Deck is doing weird stuff, so I have it kind of out of position. But you'll see that, like, if I click over here, it goes to that. If I click back over here, so it's all set up to do automatic switching. You got documentation, and when it comes out, I'll look at it. There it goes. You get a warranty card, and you get a user manual. Highly suggest you read it. And just to help people not freak out on user manuals, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 10 pages of English, okay? That's all you need. So I know this looks like a big old book, but 10 pages of it is instruction. I think that's why people be skipping their manuals, because they look at it and they think it's thick, but you got to remember there's normally 15 languages in there. Oh, man, okay? Let Your Nerd Be Heard is on point. I travel with my link, and I like having this in the case, because currently what I do is I put my link in a used Aperture case for an Aperture MC Lite. So I like the fact that it comes with a case, because, yeah, talk about taking this bad boy on the road. Boom. So let's give it an old unzip. Again, solid case. It's nice and hard. There is a USB-C to USB-C cable. Looking at it in its wrapped up form, I'm going to call it probably about 6 to 10 feet. Let's see. You get an adapter situation here. This one will instantly get replaced with one of my fancy Doc Rock ones, which are all in my backpack right now because I just came back from a trip. But I like the fact that that's there. Has a nice slot for the cable to sit in. So hopefully my upgraded cable will fit in the same slot. This is the mount, right? So when you want to mount it to your camera or something, this is a little magnet. I'm assuming it's magnet. Oh, yes. I love the magnetic base. Oh, girl, come on now. The magnetic base is fantastic. Oh, that gives you all myriad sorts of options. Here, get back in here. This is nice, folks. I love having one of my favorite things about my Go 3 is the fact that it's magnetic. Oh, you can do some things. You can do some things. Look, I could just throw it right here on top of the old microphone and give you guys the up nose shot. I could even stick it down here on top of this microphone one and give a whole nother angle. So without having to hook this bad boy on and then hook this bad boy on or connect it to the back of this monetization over here, I can just magnet it to something. So I love this. Pro tip for people that's out here doing things. One of the cool things you could do to your room is go to the Home Depot or something and get your piece of galvanized steel. And you basically mount it to your wall, go to Amazon, buy a bag of neodymium magnets, and you can use it to hang everything. So imagine you just take a small little plate, galvanized steel, 2-piece sticky tape, stick it right to the wall. It does have a quarter 20 on the bottom so that you can quarter 20 it to something. And there's some charging things on the bottom for like a dock. So I'm assuming there's an accessory dock that you can put this bad boy in. But yeah, that is super cool. Yeah, it's really weird, those connectors on the bottom. Anyway, so this is it for a size. I could do a size comparison, but I got to take this one off the top. This is slightly bigger than the Link, but it's lighter. It's lighter by about 10 grams. The ball bearings in here feel really good. Sorry, my camera doesn't autofocus on purpose because I normally use my overhead. It has a nice up and down. And yeah, so let's get this baby plugged in. First thing you're going to need to do is peel this off because if you leave it on, you're going to have a blurry picture. Just say it. I wonder how many people write in and be like, I bought my new camera and it sucks. The picture is so blurry. That's because you didn't take off the do jammy. All right. You guys know how I roll. Swap the cable. I don't want to use theirs because I like my cables cute. It's just what it is. So a weird flex, I know, but I like my cables cute. Let's plug this in. And let's give this guy a little plug in. Like such. And then he wake up. Wakey, wakey. Yo, Mel, what is up, home girl? She rolled in just in time for I like my cables cute. All right, look. It turns green when she go. And then let's put old girl over here. We're just going to stick her to the handle. And then I got the site open. So let me do the right thing and download the information to which they had told me to. Follow instructions. Let's first download this Mac OS. It's coming. And then we're going to download a little bit of firmwares just in case we need that. And then wait for those downloads to happen real quick. But before I even get that far, let me move you guys' chat onto this window. And then I'm going to just open up live demo mode in Ecamm so you can see. My guess is it works straight out the gate because it's just how these things work. So let me go into live demo mode. So far, I haven't touched nothing. And don't tell Eden, but I'm going to change camo camera to, did it show up? Yes, it did. OBSBOT Tiny stream camera. There it is. Let me go down to a different scene because I don't want to mess up myself. Command-Shift-B. And then throw a little one of these big head dudes over here. And then bring this baby up right here. So right now, look, it does just work right out of the gate. Without installing any software or doing anything weird, just turn it on. It turns on. Hey, guys. And the picture's not too bad. And let me get it up at a level to make it somewhat even. Yeah. Now, I haven't set white balance or done anything with it, just taking it as is. Definitely, you're going to want to go and tweak. But, I mean, plug and play is good, right? I don't allow my friends to use cameras without properly white balancing them. So we would fight. But, I mean, she go. I mean, for plug and play gangsterness, she go. Dang. Wow. It focuses pretty much up close. That's crazy. Good Lord. That is a little bit close for government work. It's still trying to focus on my eye. There you go. Now it has focus of this. Oh, so anybody that's doing close work, any of you like craft type people or selling something, particular type people or whatever, it looks like it will work great for that. Let's get in and make this thing look even better. Yes, it does focus on the eyeballus, as most cameras do. I like this so far. Let me go in and make it nice, though. A lot of people, this is what drives me batty. Everything from your Logitech on up to OBSBOT over here, they give you the opportunity to go in and set things to make it look better. People will take that joint at no pun intended, at face value. Look, it's art. It has some AI adjusting to, like, when I kill that light in the back, it's automatically doing things. Like, I turn that off because my studio is set with, proper lighting. But I think if you just drop this in the hotel, you'd be good to go. Most people wouldn't complain about this picture, but we're not regular achievers around here. We don't even do that. We don't even have these type of conversations. So let me go in and update this firmware as Paul is professing in the chat. I'm going to go back to demo mode just so you guys can see. This is probably easy. You know what, Paul? I'm going to pull the software first. Oh, wow. That was an easy installation. I like installations where you just drag a thing over and you call it a day. All right, that works. All right, boom. Just in case you can upload the firmware from within inside the app. So that's the reason why I'll pull the app open first and do any type of, permissions that's going to get required or whatever. Just let it do its thing. Let's see if it's opening. Yeah, considering we literally just pulled it off the shelf, I think the camera is doing fantastic. And my 3 monitors, where did you go? All right. Oh, it's still launching. We don't need that. We can close that. Mm-hmm. I wonder if it's going to require me to unplug it and plug it back in because, we're doing this live. There's weird things that can happen. Let me, so here is, this is actually a very good statement while I unplug and plug this back in. I remember these guys have an adapter box. There it is. So these guys have an adapter box for all you people that have UVC products, aka USB cameras, and you want them to just work via HDMI. You do have the ability to do that, right? And all you have to do is buy one of these boxes, and these boxes will convert your USB-C signal into an HDMI signal. And so, yeah, you wouldn't want to make this an HDMI version because it will be big. So there is another camera that they make, which I don't know if it's fully released yet or it's coming soon, but the tail, I do believe there's a new version of the tail coming out, and it has all 3 built in. I don't think this is it right now. So the tail will have USB-C and HDMI and one other, all built into the same camera. So it's not this one. Yeah, I don't think that's the regular Tiny. I said click on the tail, dude. Why he click on the wrong thing? Oh, I know why. Because you got to scroll down. Oh, there it is. So it is already shipping. It is already shipping. The tail is dope. So I like this. This camera looks so sick. And the fact that it has all of that built in. So if you want to be able to use the HDMI and the USB, be able to switch sort of back and forth, it has all of that built in, which is brilliant because there are cases where you would want to have the HDMI. Yes, you could. Yeah, 100%. I wonder what that would do for the software control, though, Mel. But hey, remote is available, right? So if you got the remote, you don't really need the software control. So there's that. Let me see. There we go. So, do I have you guys on live demo mode? Yeah, let me put you back on. So the reason why it didn't seem to catch right away is because in the back, where'd it go? It was asking me for permission to see keystrokes. And just the way I have my monitor set up, I'm like, Ecamm, you stay on the front, nothing else goes away. So I need to go open these settings and give it the ability to smell some keystrokes. Bam, we in there. Hit the password with the watch. I'll do quit and reopen. I ain't afraid. I ain't afraid of you. All right, so that'll do that. We'll give it a second to poop back up. There it is. It says no device connected. So now we are going to connect said device like such. And I give it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's green. It's thinking. It's thinking. Boom. It's in there. See, Paul? It did. That's why I said rather than trying to just hit the bin, I'm going to go ahead and hit yes because it does smell that there is a firmware upgrade. So we'll go ahead and let that do its thing right there. But while it's doing the firmware upgrade, let's check out this app real quick. Oh, I can't click this. You guys are going to have to trust my little zoom technique over here. So let me zoom it in from here. You'll see there's a camera, there's a power, there's a remote situation. These looks like settings. And then on-screen control. Come on, fam. That's dope. You could add in your presets. You could do some image adjustment. You have beauty and more. We'll dig into that in a second. There's zone tracking. Like, I don't really move around in here, but if you did, this is kind of cool. And imagine taking this camera and you're doing a podcast with two people sat at a desk. You would generate a shot that is both of you. Then you'll have a shot which is Paul, and you have another shot which is Luis. And basically sit there with the remote control or with preset scenes and have it go. And then, yeah, it'd be kind of cool. And because it's 4K, that crop will look dope. Kind of like a really old school technique that we do, which is why I'm always talking about you want to do this in 4K. And everybody's like, oh, you don't need to stream in 4K because nobody can watch it in 4K. That's because you don't understand production. You want to have it in 4K because you could do those full. There's 4 full 1080 crops in the 4K image. So this is 1080. This is 1080. This is 1080. And this is 1080. All of those are 1920 by 1080 because 1920 and 1920, you know what I'm saying? 3840, right? 1080, 2160. So it's not that 4K is double, it's 4 times. So you could take the HD signal and literally pull out 4 4K quadrants, and some people count the middle quadrant, which is the set. So that's the reason why you want 4K, so you can do really dope push-ins. Oh, come on. Do it again. Talking to y'all, I messed it up. Device is sleeping. Resume. All right, let's do this firmware update again because I did something stupid. While I'm voted. Man, this is really cool. You got tutorial, you got global hotkeys, you got remote controller, you got close-ups, you got the gimbal. You can, man, there's a lot of settings in here. You got your global hotkeys to do various things. You got on-screen control to do various things. Like, this is beautiful. All right, let's go in here to the camera, and we're gonna say yes, allow it to use the microphone. Okay, we can do that. You can go in here and record with that if you wish. The camera is blinking, so it looks like it's doing something. Give it a second. Device is sleeping. Resume. Once the virtual camera is able, please select OBSBOT. Oh, I got it. So you can use it as a camera that shows up in different places, of course. So we'll set that. Let's hit resume. Tiny 2. I don't need to do that. Stay out of the way. You got your different connection types. Oh, wow. I think you might be able to use this with some like NDI type situation too. All right. All right. It's changing colors over here. Let me wake it up. That was probably me messing up the firmware upgrade from talking to y'all. This is kind of cool. I just really like the fact that you can magnet it to stuff. That is just the business. It is so good. It is so good. All right, let's see. Can I get to the firmware update again? How do I force it? See, there it is. I like doing this stuff live because some of you guys are intimidated by doing stuff live, and some of you guys are intimidated by breaking something. And A, not going to break it. B, I'm not. It's metal and glass and plastic. Why are you afraid of it? So if you do what I did and just screw something up, just restart it. It's not that hard. Like, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Let Your Nerd Be Heard said the Kickstarter for the Tale starts next month. All right. Y'all want to be watching that because that camera is dope, bro. Inside, outside, like it can do all myriad things. I think it is cool. Let me make sure this stays in the front where I can see what I'm doing. Fun fact, when you do these things, don't put it on the place where Ecamm can accidentally hide it behind the persistent window because that would be bad. Sandy says it has to be better than my old Rebel T2000. Yeah, maybe. You know what's funny? We've had a lot of conversations about using things like your Sonys with the USB. A lot of your cameras, right? Your Sony, your Canon, your Nikon, Panasonics, whatever, when they're coming as UVC, right, which is Universal Video Control, which means it's coming over the USB situation, because of the amount of bandwidth that without special capture hardware UVC can handle, most of them are coming in at like 540p or 720p. Right. Some of the newer ones, realizing that we now have newer USB buses, will come in at a higher clip. Like they will come in at a full 1080. I believe the ZV-E1, which is like one of the newest cameras on the market, will come in at a full 1080. But doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bad image, because you're starting out with such a great image in the first place. Although it's going to have a lesser pixel density, you're having lesser pixel density with a dope image, right? There is such thing as 4K image because the pixel count is there, but the sensor is horrible and it just looks bad, okay? So if you go and grab a 4K, like $10 Temu webcam, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look great because it won't have the light sensitivity. It won't have the color processing. it won't have the sharpness. There's many ways to generate a 4K image and still be of a bad quality. So if you're starting out with a weak sensor and maybe your sensor is only 540p, but then you scale the 8 times with a chip, which is super easy to do, you get to put on your package, it's a 4K image, right? A couple months back, my man Nolan, my man Nolan put up a video where he bought a 4K Amazon like cheapy camera, and it was horrible. It was like $150 4K mirrorless camera on Amazon, some weird brand, and it was absolutely horrible. So don't get completely confused by just the number itself. You're gonna have to check the image, right? And unfortunately, there's no way other than doing that in order for you to, make sure that you're getting what you're getting. So don't always be, misconfused by that. But it also stands to reason that if you are going to use something like that as a way of not buying a capture card, make sure you understand that you won't necessarily get the image you think you're getting, because if you check your manual, you'll find out that, for instance, my ZV-1 only put out like a 540, but the ZV-E1 can put out a 1080, the ZV-E10 puts out 720, right? So make sure you're paying attention to what your camera can actually spit out when you're using the USB connector. And so to Sandy's point about the Rebel T2000, in that particular case, this is a better look, right? And if I remember correctly, I think it's like 250. Let me double check. Tiny 4K. Okay, upgrade successful. Yay! Okay. Let me investigate. Let's go back to products. Tiny 2. Oh, this one is, the Tiny 4K is 239. The Tiny 2 is 329. There we go. There's the answer. Okay, so looking at my Gucci, it's about that time. We'll zoom this up a little bit just so you guys can see. So in here, go away. We have the device sleep mode. You got auto sleep, whatever your sleep time is. When the stream is not turned on, it will enter sleep mode after the above time. Okay, that's cool. I'll probably set mine to like 10 minutes, right? When you have a sleep background, you can put on a background so that something shows up, or you can just put in your own. Okay, which is cool because it's like let's say you wanted to have an emergency step away, push the camera down, it goes to sleep. Emergency step away can be your own screen, which says be back, right? So if I had this as the master camera here, and this was, the master camera, and I flipped it into the sleep mode to go get a UPS package or something, I could and put an image. That's my be right back scene. Okay, so you got lock the target is hold the hand straight. You got the zoom, which is to do the L. You got the zoom in factor with 2 hands. That's in there. Don't need to flip directions. You have voice control. I'm not going to say any of these out loud, but these are the words that I can say in order to make the camera do what it do. I can adjust what my initial position is and then pick the microphone setup. I won't ever use audio gain. It's not me. I don't really need noise reduction, but I'll leave it on for a second. You can set the view and the gimbal to be reversed. So in other words, when you're shooting it backwards, but you still want to press left, right on the control and have it operate left, right, then you would use that. We just did the firmware update and all of that's in there. We go back to the camera situation. It's going to pull up the video preview. In which case, let me poop back out. You'll see I can select my camera quality in there. Oh my goodness. The 4K looks so much better. Hold on. Shut the front door. Let's go back to the other scene. Where did it go? Good Lord. Oh my God. Here, let me embiggen this, right? And then I'm going to step out to full screen so you guys can see. And I'm going to show you that this is the 4K image. And now let's go to the 1080 image. Okay, still clean. Like once I turn the software in, it's actually a better image. So the auto adjustment things, once I installed the software and the firmware update, it actually pulled a much better image. But I can see there's a tiny little halo right around the top of the dome. Right, you follow my finger, right? You'll see there's a little halo that might go away when we step higher. Just because it's less defined there. But man, and the background blur is actually pretty decent. I'm gonna say, come here, little fellow. That is clean. You know, I would perfectly tell somebody, start your whole setup with just this. This is doing much better than our thing from the other company, rhymes with Logitech. This is very nice. This is very, very nice. It's a very nice. All right, let's put this right here again. I just need my hands free for a second. I feel every time I trigger my gas. Why? Sorry, Los. How you been, man? No, the thing that's cool about this is this would eliminate the cam link. If you're using your Rebel or your Sony and it does have a USB output, just look at the quality first and see how good it is. Even though the Sony output on some of the smaller cameras is only 540, the quality is gorgeous. So I'm cool with it. Daniel did a great video to ask people if they could tell which one was the ZV-E1 plugged in and which was the ZV-E1 on the cam link, and most people couldn't tell. And right now, I will tell you right now, Sandy, I'm not recommending cam links to anybody because that device came out almost 7 years ago and they have not made a single update to it in 7 years, and cameras have gotten way doper. So it's not even USB 3 good yet, or 3.1-2, Gen 2, whatever. Yeah. At this point, there should be a Thunderbolt version of the Cam Link. At this point, there should be a USB-C version of the Cam Link, and there should be a USB 3.1 Gen 2 version of the Cam Link, and they haven't done anything. So I'm sorry. They have lost my affinity, if you will. Which you will. I answered that question at the very beginning. The answer to both questions, both ways. Is the Insta360 better than the OBSBOT Tiny 2? Yes. Is the Tiny 2 better than the Insta360? Yes. Why? You got to make a decision on what works for you. I did point out the differences. For me, the magnet, bonus points. It's way more adaptable. It comes with a sturdy travel case. Boom. Extra bonus points. It comes with a mount that allows you to mount it in various different situations. Extra bonus points. It's voice controllable. Extra bonus points. You can buy a remote control for it. Extra bonus points. And as far as the software goes, far more feature rich. Extra bonus points. And it is voice control. I don't know if I said that yet. But if you add up all of those things, that's way more than $30. So I don't know. It's your $30, fam. That's all I can say. Yeah. So yeah. I just read about this on Amazon. I'm seriously thinking about getting it. I'm sick of my old camera. Yeah, this is a great update. I mean, look at how pretty. I can't speak English. Look at how pretty the image is, though, right? So, I mean, yeah, I think it's a fantastic upgrade. This image is actually very clean, and I haven't even tweaked yet. I haven't bust out my gray card and started messing with it. Okay, so let's get in here and start doing that since you guys want to be like that. Again, if I bring this up, it's going to pull up my extra image here. I can do straight recordings in here. We don't need that. I have some volume control for the mic, but I like that this gives you a good little video preview. In our case, we can see an eCam. The video is basically untouched. So if I click on this, now it's asleep, which is dope, right? And that's the image that I put in there to tell it to sleep. And I can do that, and it comes back. All right, cool. That is all in there like swimwear. I can click on this button, and this gives me some remote control access, which I'm not messing with at the moment. I click on this button, and I'm assuming that's going to be some more extra settings, but again, we'll leave all of that alone. And then I'm going to come here, and this is what puts in the virtual camera mode. For video constant live streaming software, please note the original camera video stream will no longer be available. Okay, so I'll stop that. I don't want to do that. It doesn't seem to affect eCam. And then with on-screen controls. Okay, I'm not going to bother with that. Let's get in here to this console. And so do I want to do some zone tracking? Let's do some image beautification first. So we'll come in here, and then I can re-trigger the focus. I can turn off autofocus. So now I can do manual focus if I need, because you're doing a document or something of that nature. I will definitely turn off auto exposure. I will set my shutter speed to 1/60 and then bring my ISO slightly lower. There. So now, if you look at this camera and my actual camera, I can get them pretty close, right? That's a little too dark. That's a little too there, but you know, it's there. Now, we have it set at auto white balance. I'm gonna turn that down, and I'm gonna white balance it according to my room. Now it's getting better, right? Nah, it might go up. Just trying to match the Sony. I think my Sony's at 51. All right, so that's a little better. And then I could come in here and soften this contrast up a little bit. You know, you can go in here and I can desaturate it a little bit, because it is, for me, it's a little saturated. But I like my colors a little desaturated. I don't need to mess with the sharpness. I don't really need to monkey with the hue. And let me again pull this up here. Now by taking out some of the sharpness, right? And I need to put a little bit more contrast back. You can get rid of the overall hyper webcam look, right? If I reset all of these back to normal, that looks like a webcam. Desaturate it just a smidge, not a lot, and take some of the contrast back out, and then take off some of the sharpness, and that alone can help you get rid of some of the webcam look. Now, this goes one further, right? Right now, I have it set to be face autofocus. Like Mel mentioned before, I could put it on global autofocus, and then I'm not worried about my face. So when I drop in something like that, it can do the switch real quick because it knows what to do, right? It's not trying to see me. You see what I'm saying? So you can do that. I'll leave it on face for now. But let's take this one step further. I can do a beauty filter. In my case, for you guys, ugly filter. I can do a classic look, man look. Oh, you know what? It's happening on the video preview here. Let me put you back in here. Okay, it's happening on a video preview, but it's not pushing the eCam maybe? Yeah, there it is. So I think I have to send it the virtual camera thing if I want to push these to eCam, meaning turn this on and select it over there. So regular stuff fits, but some of this other stuff won't work, like the background blur. See how it's blurry here, but it's not in eCam, right? And I can crank that blur really high, but again, eCam doesn't push it. That's because you'd have to press this on, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not going to use any of these filters. They don't, I mean, I'll just be the way I am. Look, I can make myself less fat. It kind of works, man. I'm not going to do my legs like, doesn't affect me. But there are some little color filters in here that you can use if you're trying to do something here. I like the film look. Not too bad. Take any of these filters and calm them down. Never use them super harsh. You only want them to be a slight little touch. Actually, this soda filter looks good. I kind of like that one. Anyway, but not need none of that. Yeah, so you got that stuff is all in here. So pretty capable little guy here, let me just say. And then if you need any help, you got all of the information in here. So what I will probably have to do in order to make this work the way that I would want it to work in Ecamm and accept all of those features, right now, this is pulling the straight raw feed, right? I would want to turn this on and say, okay, which is going to maybe break the raw feed, and then I got to wait for it to pull in the good one. So now it should keep up with me changing filters. What happens if I do this? And then, oh, I know what I was going to try. Let's put this here and then go. He forgot the words already. There we go. So this is cool. Sleep, Tiny. That is super cool, man. Right, Neil? I really like the quality. The color is nice. The reason why it has all those body shaping features and face features is because it was really built for live shopping, because live shopping is a big deal in China and Hong Kong, Taiwan, things like that. So they built it for that market. It's also why it has great image detail when it comes to doing close-up products and stuff. So it's built with that stuff in mind. Definitely puts the GoPro to shame. Hi, Tiny. Is that the right word? Uh-oh, I forgot the words. Wake up, Tiny. Tiny, wake up. I guess you should remember the words. Oh, it is. Hi, Tiny. Oh, well, I'll do it by hand. So what happens if I do this? Hi, Tiny. It doesn't work. Track me. Nope. Do you have to say hi, Tiny, first? Track me. Oh, there it goes. This is so good. Oh, zoom out further. Zoom in closer. Good Lord. Zoom out further. Oh, so you can adjust the zoom factor here. So let's cut this back a little bit. All right. Zoom out further. All right, this is all the way out. And then position 1. I haven't set those yet. So you can do position 1, 2, 3. But this is actually kind of cool. Unlock me. Super dope. This is so cool. I can crack out on this thing all the time. So let's turn that off. Let's turn that off, the zone tracking. We don't need that. Oh, you can also specify whether it's catching the upper body, catching the close-up, going headless, doing lower body. Ooh. So you can tell it to do that. I broke it because I told it to do too many things. Zoom out further. Boom. That is so good. You do have actual gimbal control with the mouse and the zoom control, so you can move it wherever you want. That's cool. Let's reset everything. Locked in position. Super cool. Uh, you know, those are fighting words for me. um, it'll be fine. The image, the main thing to, let me go back to this main thing. Let's keep the main thing the main thing. The main thing to getting proper green screen to work is a lot of light, and any camera can pull off a green screen if you have a requisite amount of light. You got to imagine, like, the nowadays cameras are so dope, and we've been pulling off green screen since cameras weren't dope. So if you got a lot of light, you can pull it off. I just, not a fan. Not a fan because most people do it wrong. If everybody would do it right, I think I would be less of a not a fan about it. But I have seen really good possible videos completely ruined because the person used a green screen. And it's like, if you'd have done it correctly, it would have been dope. The fact that you did it bad is absolutely horrible. I'm trying to think of a food analogy because there's certain foods that when they're done right, that's fish. Fish, when fish is done right, fish is good. When fish is done bad, it's flaky and dry and disgusting. And so, yeah, if it's done right, it's gangster. Yeah, same here. I'm with you, Neil. I'm like well over it. Well over it. Damn. Yeah, it's up to you. You really got to look at which of these clips that works with you. So the OSC API is designed to allow it to connect with the interface into the OBSBOT. So if you have other type of stuff, that's what that's for. All right, cool. Got that. That's dope. The picture is amazing, right? The picture is amazing. Yeah, Dan, this is really dope. You know what's funny? When I was doing this at the trade show at NAB, and I was interviewing the model who was showing this off, she said she actually preferred the min filter because it wasn't as harsh as like, overdoing the beauty filters as some of the other ones. So she said she found that to be the go-to filter. Okay, so imagine me this. How would you set this up outside to shoot an educational video at a hockey pitch? Actually, that's going to be the tail. Well, it's cool. It does have a quarter 20 on the bottom. So yeah, you could pull that off. But the thing that's dope about the tail, it has standalone recording. It records into its own self. It is water resistant. Like, you're not going to drop it in the ocean or anything, but it's designed for the outside elements. And so knowing that that's coming up next month, Kills, I would tell you to sit and wait for the tail. Like, the tail is specifically designed for what you're asking it to do. So I think that would be a better option. Yes, it does have whiteboard mode. I don't have one in here to do. Yeah, if you got the great lighting, then you're square, right? Most people just jack it up because they try to do it with bad lighting and then it just gets ugly real quick. I shall sit on my tail then. Yeah, the tail is freaking amazing. I can't wait to see that thing. That thing is dope star. It is quite amazing. This is cool though. Like, just seeing what's out there. Again, for me, it's the magnet. Like, it seems crazy. It's the smallest feature of the whole damn thing. But for me, it's the magnet because I am often going on the road. I'm out here, in these streets doing conferences or whatever. And I'm going to want to be able to just throw this on top of my notebook, right? Pop the magnet right there. And I got my good, down shot, or I can point it out straight like such. You know what I mean? Like, for me, that's what it is. I love this. I love the idea of this magnet. Also like that here, now that I got it looking all kinds of crazy, let me move your comments for a second. I like the fact that all I got to do to put it to sleep is grab the head and point it straight down. And then it goes to bed. Like, so dope. to me, that is quite amazing. Tell it to resume. She comes right back up. It's good to go. So whether you actually hit it with a Sleep Tiny or don't hit it with a Sleep Tiny, like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, it like it's ready to roll. It's like just back in full action again. So I like how you can make it night and then pull it back up, kind of thing. So for me, it's the magnet. The picture is amazing. Like honestly, this picture is super dope. I'm getting phone ringies over here. Let me try something that may be dumb, but we're gonna see. Oh, come on, cables. Don't fight me. All right, let's do this. Oh, come on, guys. We're going to take a look. They're not going to be exactly the same just due to the fact that I can't line them exactly the same. But man, you talk about having the eye for adjusting. Remember I adjusted my picture just off of my feel? You talk about almost an exact match. Look at that, right? So this down here on the bottom, because somebody at home will be watching this and they don't know my studio like that. This is the Tiny Deuce down here. And this one boom. Okay. But the thing that I just wanted to point out is if you're looking at these two images, Tiny's a little better. I don't know. You guys tell me. Let me put you guys back on. Looking at these two images, what do you think? What do you think? I think Tiny is a little bit better. Thomas, I have been M1 since the day they came out. I do not own any old computers. I change my computers every 2 years on the button. So this is both M1 and M2. So right now this is connected to my M1, but yeah, it'll be fine. But that was a good question. But I'm just laughing because everybody knows me. As soon as my computer's 2 years old, it's gone. It's out of here. I think that it's a little better, right? Now, let me see if I can make them line up exactly right. Doing a little hand motion here. So Tiny, I will tell you, is a little less fickle about fighting my hand motions. Don't do that. I'm trying to get them at the same level, but the cable doesn't want to behave. The cable is weighing down, is causing it to pull. Let me put it in a position so the cable won't knock it down again. Okay. And then let me try. It's going to be impossible to get them perfectly lined up, but they're similar. This needs a little bit of rotate. I don't know. I think the image is pretty good. I think it's a little bit sharp. Well, at least in the hand, right? Like when I go from here to here, my hand doesn't get completely like washed out. And I don't have my chart with me. It's in the other room. Cause you know what? Let's bust out an actual measuring tool instead of a bit you guessing tool. Bitch, you guessing. Voila. Yeah, the tone, the tone of the Tiny is actually a little better too. You know what it is? It's that real deal Holyfield Sony sensor that's popping off in there. That's what it is. Oh yes, it is much mas bitan. Are you ready for the next comedian? Shoo. I know I dented my chart. It really hurt my feels. Guys, I don't know about you, man. I think color representation is better. I think focus and moire pattern is better. I think contrast and definition is better. And again, it's hard because I can't put them on an even plane. I will rig something up where I can put them on an even plane and show you. But my first impressions is that it's better. Especially look at these skin tones. You know what I mean? Like these skin tones are being reproduced extremely well. And then that focus, though. Let's check out the focus lines. I'm fully focused, man. No, I got too close because the Tiny slightly closer. But the focus is good on both of them. You can't fight that. You can't fight that. You can actually see, let me get it in the right position. You can actually see the 10, 20, 30 in the black circle. So the focus on them both is dope. Yeah, man, I'm going to still put it at, I won't call it an absolute toss-up. You won't be disappointed by the OG, but Tiny does have a slight advantage. I'm going to give it like 10, 15% advantage, and let me take it down before it falls again. Well, we know that it's 30 because it fell off the overhead mount. I like the idea of the remote. I do like the idea of the remote too. I think it's a really good idea. I'll probably get a tripod because I want to have my studio set up. It's pretty small, but I think it's I think it's really dope camera. And I love both of them have quarter 20s on the bottom, so that part is good. Boom. Anything, Mr. Webb? Appreciate it. Yeah, it shows a little bit sharper. It's a bigger sensor, so that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it is a larger sensor camera, so it makes sense that it pulls off that better. I'm my bad, guy. I should have guys showed you this on the. I should have showed you this on the full shot, but I think you guys got the drift. You let me know. I'll do it again if you need to. Yeah, throw it together. I mean, relatively inexpensive. At $329, it's relatively inexpensive. Right, you see it, right? I think that sharpness comes from the sensor being better. John Michael says it's better. Oh, good point, Michael. That is correct, right? So Michael is saying it has a little bit more dynamic range, and that's where you'll see the crush when you're going from like lighter portions of your scene to darker portions of your scene. That transition in between those two, that's where having a broader dynamic range will benefit. Eden, send me your address. I'll send you one. 1/1.5. So it's a big fat Sony sensor. Let's go nerd out on specs, people. Let's go nerd out on specs. Let's go Tiny Deuce. Come on, internet. There you go. I like this. We hit the overview. Actually, we could just go to the text specs. We don't need to do the scrolly scroll. Actually, this is cool. Check this out. Let's hit the comparison box. Let's change this guy to other competitor, and that way they're side by side, and we'll leave the tiny 4K at the end. So yeah, it's a $30 more. Their size is roughly the same. It's lighter at 95.6 grams versus 106 grams. With the mount, though, the mount does lift it up a little bit. Not that big a deal. We're talking grams. I mean, this is basically... Let's see, 840. It's basically 5 8-balls heavier. It's 4K 30, 4K 30. This can do 1080 60. They both can do 1080 60. But yeah, it's a 1.15 CMOS. This one is a 1.2 CMOS. This is a Sony CMOS. I don't know if these guys are using Sony CMOS or not. The Tiny 4K has a 1.2 CMOS, which is slightly bigger, but this CMOS seems a little bit more accurate. Luis, you know the deal. You're from Miami. You understood that. There you go. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. 4K focus, all pixel focusing as a verse for phase detection. PDAF stands for phase detection autofocus. This focuses like a Sony camera. We don't do phase detection autofocus. We use all the pixels and we kind of figure it out from there. It has Pixgain HDR, again, Sony tricks. Dual native ISO versus a single ISO, which I think, going to Michael's point about the better dynamic range. And also, one thing we all know about Sony cameras, right? Sony cameras got super wicked dynamic range. You know what I'm saying? So it stands to reason that it has good dynamic range, and it's a Sony sensor, right? I do like this part, though. The field of vision is 85.5 degrees as opposed to 79 degrees, and you can tell it definitely is wider. Never going to use the beauty modes. That does match some of you people like Sandy and Dan. No, actually, Dan said he's not going to use it. Sandy said maybe. The faster data transmission, I think, also has a lot to do with picture quality. They both have AI tracking. This is a 2-axis gimbal. I honestly believe that the 360 is also a 2-axis gimbal, but voice control goes a long way. I think that's really handy. Auto framing also goes a long way. Now, here's the thing. Again, I'm going to keep beating this dead horse. Sorry, horse. You know what a ZVE1 has auto tracking? So these guys are brilliant by using the Sony sensor because they get all of those extra benefits that are built into the Sony sensor. They get it in this bad boy. So you get the auto framing there as well. We didn't try desk mode. I don't think I have a good enough place to put it up to do it, but I'll remember when I do a full ass review to find a way to do desk mode. Basically what that's for is you connect it to your laptop or your iMac or something, you plop it up there, you want to show something on the desk like this, and rather than pulling an overhead chisel like such, it can just point down and sort of bend the light a little bit in order to do it. When I've done desk mode with the Apple phone, it makes your fingers look like you're a freaking alien from The Fifth Element. Like, just don't do it. Desk mode is silly on the phone. This might work. It's a bigger camera and the angles will be a little bit better. So, sorry, I will stop doing my Diva Pavalagunda for you guys. But yeah, I'm really feeling that remote. They both have gesture control, but this one has hand tracking and zone tracking and blurry background, which I'm never going to use. And probably one of the dopest features out there is the sleep mode. The sleep mode comes in handy for just such an emergency, right? Put that back and put this right here, right? Sleep mode comes in handy for just such an emergency. And I like the fact that in here, you can change the image that goes in the sleep mode. So if I come back over here, let me just find something different. So I'm doing this stream today. I can come over here and grab the thumbnail for today. And will it drag and drop? No, it will not. Ooh, that's a bug. No, I'm joking. Let me hit the plus and let me grab the thumbnail. Yes. And then hit it right there and then say, okay. So now it's setting that image. That image is gravy. I say, okay. So now it's here. So I'm doing the stream and then UPS comes. Sleep, Tiny. Sleep, Tiny. You know what I mean? Like, people know you fitting to be right back. I would in Adobe Express, I would have added like a be right back or something. But if this is my master cam jam and I gotta go, like make a quick little run to the men's room or something, boom. And then when I come back, I'm back in here, right? So that's a dope feature, right? That is a super dope feature. The other thing that is dope, I guess, I don't think about these things because this is a separate studio, but for people who use their computers in the house that are worried about, somebody turning your camera on remotely, or females that, live alone or, whatever, know that when you point it down, they can't see nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when you just grab it by the head and turn it down, it'll go night-night and pop up your image. And on your sleep image, you could put something like, if you are hacking my camera remotely, know that I play field hockey and I'll bust your ass. You better get out my computer. Yeah, so something like that. Crop in, fam. Crop in. Hey, this, I don't know, Roy, you came late. It actually has, if you're doing stand-up work, it actually has body adjustments in the beauty thing. So you can slim the body with the beauty feature, which is also kind of cool. I'm not using it. I'll just be fat. Oh, I just realized something. When there's things in here that you're not going to use and you want to make the interface less messy, you can actually roll up some of these bad boys. So I got my exposure set, got my white balance on Pizzle. Yeah. I'm going to tell them this because they listen to me. I would like the ability to click adjust white balance instead of me guessing. I'm not really guessing because I kind of know from my Sony. But what a click white balance would allow me to do is point it at this and say pull white balance from here and then set it. And I'm not guessing. I think that'll be better for people who don't know how to white balance properly, to give them the opportunity to focus on a gray target and press a button. But I know it's 5100, so we're going to leave it there. Gangster, so I can roll that up. And then if you needed some anti-flicker, you could turn that on. And any image adjustments, again, I'm going to suggest you pull the saturation back 5 or 6 ticks, because when they're oversaturated, they just look weird. But some people like that. I won't mention any names, but not me. I do need to figure out what this button is for because, oh, wait, it did something. Remote control. Global hotkeys. Oh, there you go. So if you have your global hotkeys set, you can, for people who are better with the keyboard or say better with the Stream Deck. Oh, as a matter of fact, I remember them telling me there's a Stream Deck plugin. I will have to go get that as well. Not listening to you guys. Not yet, but give me a minute. I'll go holler at my people and see what I can do. But yeah, I like to thank them for sending me it and giving me a chance to actually flex with it in real life. I will dig deeper and play with it some more. But so you know what? I like to give you guys my true raw first digs impressions, and you guys absolutely know I love my Insta360. I still think it is an amazing camera. But at this moment in time, Tiny 2 edges it. It's a close race, It's a close race, but yeah, Tiny 2 edges it. Picture quality, dynamic range, voice control, remote control, magnet. That's it. It's the magnets for me. It's the magnets for me. So, yeah, I think you'll be perfectly fine picking either or, but I definitely got to say, I think the Tiny 2 is a little bit better. And again, there's something so dope about sleep, Tiny. Boom! It's gone to sleep. Look at that. Out like shout. That is so good. This camera might get stolen from me. Man, I really appreciate OBSBOT for sending me this. I am going to dip into the Discord and do a little after party swing with the members. And I'd like to thank all of the people who are members of the situation. I'd like to thank Keely for helping me figure out that what I thought was going to be a good idea was a stupid idea. Yesterday, I had a members only thing set up, and then it was working perfectly fine. And I go, you know what? This video is good enough. I'm not going to reshoot it. I'm going to just turn the members only video into a regular video, like 4 days later and whatever. And when I did that and set it to publish at a particular time, it broke the members only mode. So now that means if I know I wanted to publish at a particular time, it's better that I manually publish it when I'm ready so that it can stay MO mode until the last minute. So now you know, if you plan on doing something as dumb as I did, it doesn't work that way. Thank you, Keely, for figuring that out for me, because I thought I was cool. I was like wrong. Man, we forgot one thing. While we were doing our product comparison, we forgot one thing. This is big time for me. I travel with old girl. This right here. This is also high upon the list. Can I get this back on here? I am going to attempt to mini pro this. Ooh, and the sticker sticks back on. So this is also gold. I love having this, because I could just throw it in the suitcase and feel pretty safe. Man, they did a good job. They did a fantastic job. Easy to set up, easy to use, doesn't require a rocket science degree. You can just get in where you fit in. And yeah, so we need a, you know what, Drop Squad? We need a scoring mechanism. Katie has Christian taters. What should we use as a scoring mechanism for the Drop Squad? I don't think it's fair that Katie has Christian taters. I'm going to let you guys decide. Why you guys do that? I'm going to just do it this way. Undo that. Oh, you're just dumb, Doc. Christian taters are definitely funny, though. There we go. I think I did it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can't use wrenches, Paul. You this Paul over here trying to make it wrenches. Come on now. Let's see. Let's mess around here with this here Paul cat. Yeah, come on, guys. We need to think of a good one. Wrenches is not the answer. Wait. Oh, come on. See, Luis, this is why we keep you around. This is why we keep you around. It's on the shocker scale. See? Paul, you fired. Let me do this. Let me do this. So, I'm going to crop this. Yep, Command K. And then I'm going to save. Luis, did I ever tell you the joke about the shocker scales? If not, remind me to tell you when we get back in there. Yeah, we're doing it live. You know how we do, people. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. I just broke something. 1. Oh, that's why. We don't need that many. Okay, let's undo that. Undo that. And then we gotta ungroup that. Seven, 8, 9. And watch this. This is the other thing that's cool about this is you can do this. Why are you not working for me? Let me take this one out. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do it this way because I'm weird. Better idea than what I was getting ready to do. Deselect. Oh my God, he's having way too much fun. He's having way too much fun goofing off. There you go. So 9.5. And let's pop this back in the group. Link the group. And there we go. The OBSBOT Tiny 2. It's 9.5 shockers. There you go. Oh, that's super funny. You know what? Here's why. This is going to sound crazy, and people will be mad at me, and I don't care because I'm weird. So I think that sorry, Keely. I think that I would have taken it all the way to say 350, 360, and just added the remote. And then some people are like, well, I don't need the remote. Just leave it out and make it cheaper. I don't know. I just rather just have it with the remote. I'd rather you take it up the last like 50, 60 bucks and leave the remote in there. And that'd be my only thing. Like other than that, I think it's relatively dope. I can't think of too many shortcomings. The software could be a little easier, but that's kind of stuff that they can easily fix. And again, that doesn't really affect me. That's going to be more for my muggle-oriented friends. You know, they're going to be more concerned about this software being some sort of type of way. But yeah, that's it. That's it. I think it's good. Yeah, send them free stuff petition. Let me go ahead and I want to gathering my thought, I want to be the first to point out that OBSBOT sent me this. This is not free, though. In order to get to the level where a company trusts me and trusts my opinion and trusts my ability to properly review their product and give positive insights or negative insights to which they can make the product better, is years of experience, years of work. So I know it was said in jest, but I will in jest remind you, I will not allow my dopeness to be effed with like they just sent me free stuff for the heck of it. Because they didn't. I bust my ass to get to a level where companies like OBSBOT and Insta360 and Sony and Rode and all these other people send me stuff. It ain't free, fam. I busted my ass. I've been on YouTube for 16 and a half years. Look at the specs. I got over 600 and something videos in the stack. There's a whole bunch that's been deleted. I've been a tech writer for going on 15 years. So, nah, I'm not going to allow that to stand like it's free. Nah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to take that one back. And I know you might not have meant it that way. You might even have thought it all the way through before you let that dumb shit fly out of your mouth. But I'm not going to let you do that to me. My work is good. I deserve better than that. I shall not be disrespected. One of my values, self-respect. With that note, I'll see y'all in the Discord. Peace in the Middle East.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine.